government also give some
Some what?
project to degradation of historical buildings.
Investment, right? Okay, so guys, here's the thing. Big problems. You guys cannot overcome these problems. I don't get why. Class after class. This is a repetitive problem that you guys often encounter. The solution I already mentioned in various classes. I don't get why you guys don't remember this and don't take my advice into consideration. Now, there are times when you start stuttering or stumbling upon your words because of running out of ideas or because of not being able to find the proper word in English to express the exact idea that you want to, convey to the listener, right? You see what I mean, guys? What should you do? The best solution here is to jump right into the next idea, jump right into another idea that you could think of. For example, your brain was busy thinking about the word investment, right? Your brain was trying to recall the word investment, but you could not, even though you know that word so well at the back of your hand. But at that time, you got very confused or discombobulated. You cannot recall the word. The best solution for you is to think of something else to talk about. You see what I mean? Give your brain 2 seconds. If in that 2 seconds, you cannot recall the word, immediately jump right to the next word. For example, so the government should, I think, invest more or give more money to the local authorities so they can use that funding to, and then you can remember the word invest. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? To invest more into preserving historical and cultural identity of the whole area. You see what I mean? Bing. You guys will encounter this problem a lot in your exam room, especially when you are super nervous and stressed. You're super stressed because you pay 5 million. Nobody pays 5 million to go to the exam room and then just sort of sitting there being confused, discombobulated, don't know what to answer. No, not knowing what to answer. No, you have to think of something to talk about, especially when it comes to speaking part 2 and part 3. You see what I mean, guys? So just stay calm and try your best to deliver your ideas and opinions in the most beautiful way and understandable and approachable way to the listener. That's the key, okay? Are you clear? So I'd like you to again re-answer this question. Stay calm and confident. Imagine you're talking to a friend. I'm your friend right here. So, how do people in your country feel about protecting historic buildings?
Yeah, yes, but nowadays since history is not taught very effectively here in Vietnam, many youngsters aren't keen on history, and most of them don't know how to protect our history. But it is undeniable that some Vietnamese people also feel proud and always try to protect our history and tradition.
Okay, so for example, you say traditional, how about accidentally saying the word traditional and then you're gonna stop there? You're gonna stop there, right? No, you realize, oh shit, damn. Okay, so this is not a noun, this is an adjective. What should you do right now? You're gonna say sorry? No. Keep going. Traditional. Try to find a noun. Drag your brain. You have to drag your brain and try to find a noun. Oh, traditional values, traditional identity, traditional customs, Try to find the noun. Don't go back. It is irreversible. Your speech is irreversible. You cannot go back. So in order to keep it smooth, you gotta try to find a noun in order not to break the grammar structure being used in your sentence. You see what I mean, Bing? Stay calm. That's the key. Perfect. Hui, it's your turn. Hui.
I opine that protecting historic buildings is a duty of people in a nation.
Nation.
I think government should make an amendment to enhance awareness among the young generations about preserving historical and cultural identity. Besides seeing degradation of historical buildings, which is ascribed to the shortage of
Which could be
funds.
ascribed to? Which could be ascribed to? Which could be ascribed to?
The degradation of historical buildings.
Degradation. The degradation of historical buildings could be ascribed to the shortage of funding.
Shortage of funding.
That's right.
I find that government should spend more money investing in restoration and expansion.
Yes, exactly. Expansion of it. Great answer. So just relax, guys. Sometimes you make mistakes, but just remember my advice. Please take my advice into consideration. You cannot just ignore my advice and get into the exam room having a blank brain. No. You see what I mean? Sometimes you may make mistakes, but in order to remain a smooth flow and confident speech, try not to break the grammar structure by wrecking your brain and think about something that is suitable to be put in that position of a sentence structure. All right. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to question number 9. Right. A totally new question. Now, do you think an area can benefit from having an interesting historical place locally, and in what way? Bing, you go first.
Yes, absolutely. Because firstly, when an area have an interesting history, it will attract a huge number of tourists, and and the customers is the primary source of income. And besides that, such areas will be more invested by the government, and it can bring more development projects to the area.
More profitable, lucrative projects to the area.
Yeah.
Primary, not primary source of income. Again, please. Primary source of
income.
That's right. Accommodate. You guys can use the word accommodate tourists and holiday makers, right? With resorts, hotels. You see what I mean? Don't and a lot. I know that you may get confused, right? And you start running out of ideas. You don't know what to say, but you still want to speak fluently. The best solution for you is just to stay calm and instead of try to use fillers, like, it's sort of like, so it's kind of like another aspect I want to touch on is một cái khía cạnh khác mà tôi muốn nói tới là another aspect I want to touch on is another factor is, right? So, for example, the first thing that I could think of to demonstrate my opinion is, you see what I mean? Sometimes you have to say something that is nonsensical, that doesn't make any sense in order to maintain a smooth and confident flow of speech. You have to, right? So again, Bing, don't when you're about to try to think about something that is nonsensical or random to talk about, use fillers, a lot of fillers. Again, you got to try to work more on your fluency this time. Take a deep breath. Imagine you're talking to a friend. Imagine I'm your friend. You're talking to a friend. You're not taking any exam. You are not taking any exam. You're talking to a friend. You're sharing your experience to a friend. Are you ready? Do you think an area can benefit from having an interesting historical place locally? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, yes, absolutely. An area which have an interesting historical buildings will have many
benefits.
benefits. Firstly, such a display will attract a huge number of tourists, and I think customers is a primary source of income, and that it will help grow different local business. And on top of that, such areas will be more invested by the government, and it can accommodate some events to spread the tradition to other countries.
Accommodate tourists with housing system, like hotels or resorts, right? Hotels or resorts or condominiums, right? For example, you can use phrases like that. You're not going to use the word accommodate in that situation. Accommodate means support, but with the housing system. So support tourists provide tourists with houses, rooms, for example, to stay overnight. You used a very off expression. Oh, spread the traditions. No, you spread diseases. You spread virus. You don't spread tradition. You see what I mean, guys? You spread diseases, virus, not tradition, unfortunately. So what should you say here? To preserve the tradition, to preserve traditions and inspire inspire the traditional values to people coming from different countries, or to make public, not make public, but like preserve and make the traditions thrive and prosper, right? Or to bring the traditional values to international holiday makers and foreigners, and keep them, thrive and foster, make them thrive and foster. For example, you see what I mean? Yeah. Okay, Hui, it's your turn. Just relax. Try to relax and imagine I'm your friend. I'm your friend. Hui, back to the question.
An interesting historical place can definitely attract lots of locals, tourists, and visitors from alien cultures. It would enhance, it would offer many jobs, opportunities, and money from tourists will become primary source of income to locals. And it definitely enhance the economic of the area, and the economy of the nation as a result.
As a result.
The result.
Result. Not result. Result.
Result.
As a result. That's great. You just need to give me from 4 to 5 sentences. That's it. You don't have to give me a long answer, too long answer. That should be enough, guys. The most important thing that you need to work more on is your fluency. You got very nice and clear pronunciation, guys. Work more on your fluency, the way you produce new ideas. You don't have to use super intricate or sophisticated grammar structure, because that's unnecessary. in order to get the 7.0 band score. It's unnecessary to learn and memorize extremely sophisticated and intricate grammar structures or advanced vocabulary. I think your lexicons are enough for you to fully express your ideas comfortably and confidently in English. So you don't have to actually think of something that is too fancy or like, you know, something that is all over the place, something that kind of, you know, like exceeds your level of comprehension in English. You see what I mean? You don't have to think of something that is out of the world. Be down to earth. Think of something easy and try to focus more on your fluency. Okay, great.
Okay.
Wait, next question. What do you think will happen to historical places or buildings in the future, and why? Bing. Oh my god, Wi-Fi connection. Hello. Yeah. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I think that is hard to say, and it could depend on the future generation. If government don't invest in protecting the historical place, I think in the future it will disappear. Yeah, and in the future, if young generation don't focus on protecting traditional identities, as the result, the tradition will be ruined and will
Forgotten.
Yeah, and will be forgotten.
Yeah, will be forgotten. Yeah, okay, so Bing, no, you are an alert. No, imagine you're talking to a friend. I still feel like you're nervous. You're super nervous. You're super nervous and you're super reserved. You're afraid of making mistakes. Now you have to sacrifice something, Bing. You have to sacrifice something. You cannot if you cannot strike a balance between fluency and producing ideas, the ability to produce ideas, then it's the best to focus more on your fluency. You don't have to focus on your coherence and cohesion. Focus more on your fluency, because fluency is everything, to be honest. Fluency is everything. Guys, when it comes to the IELTS test, fluency is everything. So, okay, so let me demonstrate. Do you need me to demonstrate this section, for example? What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen to historic places or buildings in the future? Oh, this question is kind of tough for me because, to be honest, like I said before, I'm not really interested in history. History is not my thing. I did tech history class when I was in school, but most of the stuff just went over my head. And now it's nearly an impossible mission for me to sort of like recall any monumental historical event. But I'm not a clairvoyant, so making a prediction for the future of the study of history seems like a pretty tough mission for me. But I think in the future, probably the government would have more money to invest into preserving historical places and buildings, simply because, look at the way people are living their lives now, right? They live an amazing life thanks to economical boost. You can see a lot of places that are on their way to become economical hubs of the whole country. They are gaining popularity, and every year they welcome like a crazy influx of international holiday makers coming to the area, and they contribute a lot to the GDP of the whole country. So I'm seeing this as a very, very positive trend in the future. I guess like they would have a lot of money would be poured, a lot of financial investment would be poured into the preservation of historical places and buildings in the future. And hopefully we can see our next generations appreciate the historical and cultural values more by visiting those amazing places. You see what I mean? Just relax. I could not think of the answer right at the moment when I look at the question. When I looked at the question, oh crap, no, history is definitely not my thing. No go, no go. How could I answer this question? So just relax. At first, guys, the tip is just blabbering on some random shit at the beginning. Beat around the bush. Đánh trống lảng. Phần 1, đánh trống lảng. Ok, cái này khó. Ví dụ bây giờ chị sẽ demo lại bằng tiếng Việt để cho các em thấy nha. Phần 1, bạn nghĩ gì khi bạn nghĩ là các cái nơi có di tích lịch sử và các tòa nhà lịch sử thì điều gì sẽ xảy ra với chúng trong tương lai và tại sao? Rồi nghe trong tiếng Việt cũng nghe thấy hoảng hồn rồi đúng không? Rồi chết, lịch sử không biết trả lời sao. Bây giờ nếu chị là người Việt mà chị thi IELTS, chị sẽ nói là như tôi vừa nói đó, tôi thì không có thích môn lịch sử. Hồi trước tôi đang học lịch sử ở trường ấy. Tôi nghĩ là người Việt nào cũng học lịch sử ở trường mà đúng không? Nhưng mà cái vấn đề là nó rất là khó nhớ, bởi vì cái cách người ta dạy á, nó không có được khoa học và không có được thực tế cho lắm. Nên là thời đó tôi học rất là nhiều bài học lịch sử nhưng mà hầu như tôi không có hiểu nhiều và tôi không có nhớ nhiều các sự kiện lịch sử, bởi vì cái cách dạy nó rất là cứng nhắc. Thế nên bây giờ mà để tôi nói một cái gì đó về lịch sử thì nó giống như một nhiệm vụ bất khả thi ấy. Nhưng mà để tôi cố gắng nghĩ xem khi mà nói về những cái tòa nhà, những chuyện sẽ xảy ra những tòa nhà lịch sử trong tương lai thì thực sự là không phải là một cái chủ đề mà tôi giỏi, bởi vì tôi không phải là nhà tiên tri, nên là đưa ra dự đoán về tương lai mà lại còn cho cái chủ đề tôi không thích nữa thì rất là khó. Thấy đánh trống lảng chưa? Đánh trống lảng đã được hơn 30 phút chưa? Hơn 30 giây chưa? Tiếp tục lại bây giờ mới vào chủ đề chính là trong 30 giây đánh trống lảng đó chị đang suy nghĩ xem tôi định nói cái gì. Ok, tôi nghĩ là bây giờ nền kinh tế đang phát triển, mọi người có thể nhìn thấy là cái cách con người ta sống ngày nay đó, con người ta sống ngày nay là đang sống trong một cái cuộc sống mà rất là hưng thịnh về mặt kinh tế, bởi vì tất cả mọi người đều đang cải thiện được cái mức sống của mình. Chính vì vậy mà các cái vùng lân cận khác nhau ở trong quốc gia của chúng ta đang ngày càng trở nên phổ biến, và chẳng mấy chốc thì chúng sẽ biến thành một cái vùng đặc thù kinh tế của quốc gia và đem lại một cái GDP rất lớn cho nền kinh tế cả nước. Chính vì vậy mà tôi nghĩ chính phủ sẽ có nhiều tiền để mở rộng ngân quỹ và để đầu tư hơn vào việc bảo tồn những cái tòa nhà lịch sử và di tích lịch sử. Và chắc chắn là trong tương lai thì thế hệ trẻ của chúng ta sẽ có cái cơ hội là được đến những cái nơi tuyệt vời này để tưởng nhớ về cái văn hóa và cũng như là truyền thống lịch sử của thế hệ cha ông để lại. Thấy chưa? Master phần trình bày part 3. Hết sức bình tĩnh các em, hết sức bình tĩnh. Cứ tào lao bí đao cho chị, gặp cái câu nào khó tào lao bí đao đi em. Tào lao bí đao đã, gặp cái câu đầu là rồi all over the place trước, sau đó có thời gian nghĩ tiếp, vừa nói vừa nghĩ xem định nói cái gì. Được chưa? Rồi, Khuê,
Tào lao bí đao cái này cũng khó quá chị ạ.
Tào lao bí đao mà cũng khó là sao? Trời ơi, sao khó được em?
Tôi phải nói một lần kiểu qua nhà mình quen rồi, ok là mình nó nằm lòng trong người mình đã, xong rồi mình lúc đấy mình cứ thuôn thôi, mình cứ dành thời gian suy nghĩ khác được.
Chị không có bao giờ học thuộc lòng bất kỳ một cái gì hết, như các em thấy đó, thấy không? Những cái chị đang ghi trên bảng chỉ là những cụm từ vựng cho mấy đứa và câu hỏi thôi. Nãy giờ chị có dùng bất kỳ một từ nào ở trên bảng chị ghi cho các em không? Không hề. Đúng chưa? Không hề đọc bất kỳ một cái nào hết. Không bao giờ phải nhớ, chị không bao giờ phải nhớ một cái gì cả. Khi các em đi thi mà các em nhớ tiêu hồn rồi, sàng hồn rồi, không bao giờ trên nổi 5.5. Đi thi mà đi thuộc không được. Ở đâu mà đi học IELTS speaking mà thuộc thì thôi, nói thật không hơn nổi 5.5. Thuộc cái cụm cũng thế luôn. Bởi vì ban giám khảo nghe người ta biết ngay là ôi cái người này học thuộc, chứ không phải là tự nói từ trong miệng ra, không phải tự nói từ trong đầu ra. Chết chắc. Em hiểu không? Hết sức bình tĩnh. Dù em có vấp, nhưng nếu em cố gắng không thuộc và nói ra ý của mình, chắc chắn em sẽ được điểm cao hơn cái đứa lưu rát mà ban giám khảo nghe phát biết ngay là nó học thuộc. Em hiểu không? Again, Khuê, answer the question, please.
Okay, I think historical places or buildings in the future could depends on the next generation. But the future is a two-edged sword, and it can go
Sword,
both
sword,
ways,
sword.
good or
Two
bad.
edge, sword, sword.
Sword.
Không có đọc cái
Sword,
W,
sword.
bỏ chữ W đi. Sword. Đúng rồi.
Sword, and it can go both ways, good or bad. People will can enhance their awareness and of preserving historical buildings in the future. Do activities, volunteer activities like planting trees or using public transportation instead of cars, motorbikes. By contrast, they can do many harmful activities to the government, to the environment, like throw little, and they can throw little in the historical place, and it will be really harmful for the buildings. And maybe in the future, government should make an amendment on their make amendment about laws of preserving historical places and undergo many restoration to these areas.
Excellent, see? Yay, amazing. Khuê, amazing. You got an excellent speaking performance, even though you did make some minor mistakes. Doesn't matter. Enough for you to get a 7 or even 7.5. Even 7.5. Enough for you to make a set to get like a 7 or 7.5. Yeah.
Thank you.
You should just be confident, guys. Just be confident and relax. Don't try to memorize anything at all. I must warn you, if you try to memorize like script, paragraphs, hell no. That's a hell no for your band score, like exam result, like to be honest. So just relax. The more confident you are, the more natural you are, the higher band score you get for your level right now. That is the best strategy that you should work on. Question number 10. Ding, you go first. What do you think will... Oh, crap. I asked you already. Question number 11. How were you taught history when you were at school? Ding.
Yeah, as I have mentioned, at school, the history curriculum can be said to be very boring because the curriculum is
Curriculum.
Yeah, it's not focused on, and a student just have to go learning.
Because the curriculum does not focus on
Does not focus on.
On what?
And it's kind of like my student
Does not focus on what? You haven't finished the sentence. Does not focus on what? Em chưa kết thúc câu.
the way
Again.
and the teacher
Trả lời lại. Again. Một điều cấm kỵ trong IELTS kể cả speaking và writing là chưa kết thúc câu mà đã sang ý khác. Một lỗi chí mạng không bao giờ có thể khiến cho các em có thể cao điểm được là các em bình chuyên gia mắc lỗi là sao? Chưa hết câu. You nói chưa hết câu, ví dụ như có một cái đoạn câu trả lời trước rồi you nội mắc một lỗi chí mạng luôn á, là you nói chưa hết cái mệnh đề if. So if I get to cái gì đó mà tự nhiên you nhảy sang một cái câu khác rồi, you chưa nói cái vế sau của mệnh đề if đó. Các em phải nhớ khi mà mình nói một cái câu nào đó đang sử dụng mệnh đề ghép phải finish cái câu đó trước. Nếu các em không finish, chết chắc. You chết chắc. You sẽ mất ngay điểm coherence. Và grammar structure mất luôn. Mất 2 thành phần rồi. Tiêu đời. Không kể các em nói hay cỡ nào, từ vựng hay cỡ nào, mất 2 thành phần là tiêu đời. Lỗi chí mạng trong writing và speaking. Chưa finish hết câu. Tập trung để ý chị, cái lỗi này mắc là chết dở nha. One more time. How were you taught history when you were at school?
Yes, as I have mentioned, at school the history curriculum can be said to be very boring. Because at school the teacher does not focus on history, and students just go learning.